What's up, everybody? Cyril T. Giles here, and this is going to be my Song in Ice and Fire story. If you have not read the first 5 books in the Song in Ice and Fire, I strongly recommend do not watching. If you have not watched the first 5 seasons of Song in Ice and Fire, do not watch. I don't like people being spoiled. I mean, if you don't care for spoilers, you can stay. But anyways, so this is how it all started. I'm watching, I can't remember what program on HBO, but I see a little preview for Game of Thrones, and kind of like a making. They show previews, and honestly, I said that shit looks stupid. And I'm a fan of medieval stuff, and I gotta admit, I saw Tyrion, and I was like, a fucking dwarf. I mean, being honest, you know what I'm saying? I love Tyrion now, but that's what I saw, and I didn't want to give it a chance. But hey, I set the TiVo, and fortunately, I watched it live that night. The first ever episode, I watched it live. First episode, I'm sold. Okay, everything's about the first episode is awesome. I mean, the White Walkers. What really sold me, I have to say, this is just my preference, is when King Robert was heading to Winterfell and Bran was climbing. He was on top of Winterfell, and he's looking, and he's in awe. He's like, wow, he's so excited about, seeing King Robert and all his men and everything. And just the part, it's sad though when I go back to it and I watch it, because what's happened in the story, but when King Robert comes up, and you got Jaime and the Hound and all them, and you got the court of Winterfell, Ned and everybody, standing there, and then Arya with her little hat on, and Ned's like, what you doing with that? And, it's just, and then just the whole great thing about Robert and Ned, and they're all happy to see each other, and it just where the story's at now, it's sad, and, but that first episode sold me. I mean, it's a masterpiece. The first season is a masterpiece. I'm biased because I love Game of Thrones, so, Season 5 was good, but Season 1 was a masterpiece. And I think it's like that with a lot of first movies and first seasons. But anyway, so, alright, I was talking to Tinker J on Twitter yesterday, and we were discussing our favorite characters and everything. So I just want to talk about this in a video. My first favorite character, obviously, was Ned. Ned Stark, the Honorable Lord Eddard. I consider myself in a lot of ways like him. When I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there. When I give my word, I give it. Now, I wouldn't say I'm as honorable as Ned, no, by no means, but I try and be. I try and be an honorable person. I try to live by my word. But Ned was definitely my first favorite character. Khal Drogo, definitely love Khal Drogo. He was a beast, a fucking berserker. The scene where Daenerys gets poisoned, or they try and poison her, and Drogon goes off crazy, talking about, I'm gonna give you the Iron Throne, I'm gonna rape, and just, dude, I was so pumped. I thought maybe possibly Khal Drogo was gonna really go over to Westeros and conquer it. And when he died, I was so sad. And then obviously Ned dies. I was sad. I get behind Robb. They make you fall in love with Robb in the show. I mean, I personally fell in love with Robb Stark. I thought he was a great king. I know your second watch around, your second read around, you see the kind of mistakes he made, and you see that he made a lot of dumb mistakes. But Robb was a great warrior. He was a fair leader. He would have been a great king. Everything would have been just if he took the Iron Throne. If he didn't get betrayed, people would have got treated fairly. And he didn't even want the Iron Throne. If he took out all the Lannisters and everything, and Daenerys wanted to take her throne, he would be like, take it, and he would go back and rule the North. I know he would. But anyways, so I read most of the books at work, all downloaded on my phone. The phone, well, this is the new phone I got now, but my old phone before this, I read all the books on there. I downloaded them on the Google Play app. And one horrible night at work, and I did a lot of hiding at work when I was reading the books, taking long breaks and hiding. I even, for Dance of Dragons, I bought the paperback because something happened where I couldn't purchase it on the Google Play Store. It was weird, my password, something I can't remember, but I had the big book, and I took the cover off it, and people said, man, what is that? And then some girl, I told her it was Dance of Dragons. She goes, I'm a Christian. I don't read that stuff. It's pretty funny. But anyways, I carried Dance of Dragons with me everywhere. Read it on the bus. And it was pretty cool. But anyway, so one horrible night at work. We had this place called the Quiet Room, which is closed now, where there's couches and you could lay. And it's dark and quiet in there. And one horrible night at work. That's what I'm saying, horrible. I'm reading the chapter where Rob heads to the twins. The Red Wedding. I read this chapter. I wanted to go back when everything happens. You know, I wanted to go back and read it. I was in shock. I could not believe that Bruce Bolton put that sword through Rob's chest. And I went back just to read back to make sure. And I was hoping, just hoping, maybe he didn't die, but no, he died. And later that night, after I read it, I was vacuuming around the party pit, and there was one of these bartenders named Brian who doesn't work there anymore, but is a good friend. And he came to talk to me, and he saw I was down. I'm like, man, what's wrong, John? And I'm like, man, my favorite character in my book died. He goes, man, you seem heartbroken. And he kind of like laughed or chiseled, you know. He wasn't being mean about it, but you know, I was really broken about it. You know, really sad. It broke my heart, man. That chapter is just so brutal, and I don't even like to reread it. I mean, it really, really hurts. And man, one of the craziest things about that chapter that freaking kills me is when Caitlin, she gets hope, and she goes, Northmen, and it's Bruce Bolton's men, but she thinks possibly they're there to help. And fucking one of them fucking cuts Small John's head off and just, you know, take out the rest of the men. And that's just like, it's like, you know, you sit there and you think, man, it's hope, but it's not, you know. And I know this, like 50 years from now, if some kid or somebody comes up to me and they go, hey, you ever read Game of Thrones? Or you know, first thing up on my mind is the Red Wedding. I mean, it's not like it, man. I mean, I've watched it a few times on Blu-ray and on TiVo, and I've cried. Like a little bit, you know, not like, but you know, teary-eye. I got teary-eye when Shireen died, you know. Anybody who judges me, fuck you, because real men cry. Anyway, so, after Rob died, I started liking, I liked Davos even before Rob died. I actually cheered in his first chapter when I found out he got saved and everything. And when I cheer, dude, I'm sold. And, you know, his chapter where he's talking to Wayman Manley, amazing. I love that chapter. I've read it a bunch of times. But I'm really excited to see what goes on with Davos and in the future. The show, I have no damn idea. I'm rooting for him. I'm glad he's going to be on the show. Well, so I've seen these accent challenge videos. I'm not going to do one. I don't have no accent. But I'm going to say, like I said, my favorite house is Stark. Favorite words, family, duty, honor. I love those words. Those words are very dear to my heart. Family, duty, honor. I just love those words. And in Dance of Dragons, hardest chapters to read are the Reek Theon chapters. But I have to say, some of George's most amazing writing. They are really good and detailed, and I was there. I was there in the cell with Theon when he was eating the rat and everything. And one thing they couldn't capture in the show that was really intense is when Ramsay tells Theon, he goes, "You want to go back with your Ironborn?" And Theon, he's thinking in his mind, "Be careful. Be very careful what you say." And obviously they can't put stuff like that in there. But that was very intense. And all the Reek chapters, one thing I was hoping we would see, but we're not going to see, me and Don the Kraken Wit discussed it, is when Wayman Manley and the Fraser get into it, and then all the men circle around Wayman Manley, and they're all like, man, they're like, don't come any closer. That's a badass part. But I mean, so many parts, and so many likable characters, so many hateable characters. Barr was mentioning that freaking somebody said that they like the Boltons because they're good villains, and I agree. I hate him, but I mean, Bruce Bolton in the show, I like the actor. I think he's amazing. He kind of reminds me of a vampire for some reason. Maybe it's the leeches I read in the book. But dude, one thing I wish I had that Bruce Bolton has in the show too, like when he's mad at Ramsey and he talks softly. He doesn't yell and he doesn't raise his voice. And you know, I wish I had that power when I get mad. But I get mad and I yell like a lot of people. But I wish I had that power because that's just a good power to not lose your wits. You know, and that's why he doesn't drink. But no, like I said, Starks is my favorite house. Family Duty Honor is my favorite words. I'm really excited for Winds of Winter. And really excited for next season. Hopefully Jon Snow comes back and conquers everything. But no, this has just been my Song of Ice and Fire story. I'm really, would really like to see a lot of your guys' stories. You know, my fellow YouTubers who make videos. Tony Teflon, Don the Kraken Wit, Tinker J, Don Willie, of course, Hedge Knight Killer. All you guys, man, I would like to hear your story. How you got involved in Song of Ice and Fire. You know, I started with the show. I didn't get to mention, well, I did tell you guys I read it on my phone, but I read all 5 books after the 2nd season. I just couldn't wait. So in between then, I read all 5 books. Oh, and I forgot to say, you guys might think this is funny, like before season 3, before the Red Wedding, I used to think that Rob was going to ride Greywind and become king, and possibly that Greywind could jump on the back of one of Dany's dragons and kill the dragon. You know, just thinking shit like that. But anyways, like I said, it's story time. Well, not story time. I'm sorry. This is my Song of Ice and Fire story. And it'd be great to see your guys'. LT out. See you guys next time.